Now today we'll be doing the speed test comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S25 and the iPhone 16 Pro. So on the right we have the iPhone 16 Pro and on the left we have the S25. So like if you're just a person who's just considering like which device to get, so this would just help out with regards to that one, like and help you guys choose the device itself. So if we compare the specs on these phones, like the thicker specs, if you consider, so if we consider chipset, so on the iPhone 16 Pro you're just getting the 18 Pro, which is the latest and flagship chip from the Apple itself. Very capable chip, I would just say, and it's just bundled up with the 8 gigs of RAM. On the S25 you're just getting the latest and greatest Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, so that's like a flagship processor from the Qualcomm, and the specific version of the chipset is basically like an overclock version for the S25. So you get like overclock cores on this one, and it's just bundled up with the 12 gigs of RAM. So obviously here you get the 12 gigs of RAM, here you're just getting the 8 gigs of RAM. So let's see how does the 8 gigs of RAM of the Apple performs. I know like generally like the Apple really performs really well with the lower RAM because how the software has been optimized on itself. So both devices are like connected to the same network, and we just go ahead and just do a boot up test for this one. So we just close the phone first. So we just switch off the phone and then we just start these phones up. So we'll now just switch on the phones and we see like which one just power on first. So S25 was the first one to boot up, and we just go ahead and just unlock these both devices. So just to make sure like on the background, so there are no apps are running. So yeah, both phones are running with no background apps, and like both are be connected to the same network. We'll just go ahead and just start the test, and we just start with the Pinterest. So S25 was the first one to open it. Let's check the animations on this one, so how this one feels. So pretty smooth animation you're just getting on these both devices. You won't be like wrong in both of these cases. Both are like 120 Hz display, very smooth I would just say. And we just go ahead and just now one thing I noticed, like once you open like several apps over here in the background, let's say for example 2 apps, so on Apple you cannot just close like just together. Like if you guys know like how to close these ones, you could just let me know. You have to just swipe individually up, but in the S25 in a One UI 7 you can just close it all together, which is just kind of a good thing I would just say. And if you want like to be that one to be individually closed, so you can do that one. Just go ahead and just open the InShot. So I will just give this one a try, and now we just go ahead and just open the Play Store and the App Store on the iPhone. So faster on the S25. Now we just open the calendar. I will just give this one a try too. Now we just go ahead and just open the YouTube. I will give this one a try. And now we just go ahead and just run the speed test over here. So faster on the iPhone. And now we just go ahead and just run the test itself. So iPhone 16 Pro was the first one to finish the test itself, and followed by the S25. And now we just go ahead and just open the calculator over here. faster on the S25. Now we just go ahead and just launch the camera on these both phones. So faster on the S25. And now we just go ahead and just open the Xperia. So faster on the S25. And now we just go ahead and just open the light cut. I would just say the iPhone 16 Pro. Now we just open the Google Chrome on both of these devices. So I would just say faster on the S25, like very slightly faster on the S25. I will just give this one a negligible kind of difference, but yeah, it was on the S25. Let's check the smoothness on this one. So both feels pretty much smooth, I would just say. And both are brilliant, I would just say. Nothing to complain regarding that one. Both are 120Hz display. The colors on these ones looks pretty nice, I would just say, on both of these screens in their own way. Very nice displays. Like, these are the displays, like one of the best display you can just get right now in the market itself. Apple screen is a little bit just wider than the S25, so you just get more data on that. But it's just like it's like a more rounded, so you're getting like a more real estate of the screen on the S25 because of the more rounded corners and this bigger island in the center over here. Here you get the small notch, so you're just getting a bigger real estate display. However, the what you call the side bezels are pretty much thick, I would just say, than the iPhone 16 Pro. Like iPhone 16, like it's very minimalistic kind of bezels you're just getting on this one, and that looks pretty nice, I would just say. Both screens are pretty nice, I would just say, in their own ways. Just go ahead and just open the clock. So I would just give this one a tie. Now we just go ahead and just open the Amazon. Faster on the S25. And now we just go ahead and just launch some games over here. So starting with the Subway Surf. So faster on the S25, I can say. And we just go ahead and just play a little bit on both phones to check the screens on these phones. So the iPhone feels pretty nice holding in the hand, I would just say. It feels very premium and solid device in the hand itself. The screen itself is very nice on the iPhone. It's pretty smooth, I would just say. No lag, nothing. However, this game is like pretty much like basic, I would just say, but like it feels pretty nice to play the game on this device itself. The colors are very popping, I would just say. Nothing to complain. Apple has just like calibrated the screen like pretty well on this one. Alright, pretty nice, I would just say. Now we just go ahead and just play a little bit of game on the S25. So screen feels pretty nice as iPhone, I would just say. Very candy bar sort of screen this one is. Very easy to hold in the hands. Very lightweight, I would just say. The speakers on these both phones are pretty nice. You'll just get a little bit more depth on the iPhone. Very nice screen, I would just say, on both of these devices. Nothing to complain regarding that one. Now we just go ahead and just launch the Temple Run 2 on these both phones. So faster on the S25, I would just say, and very closely followed up by the iPhone 16 Pro. And now we just go ahead and just launch ES False Legends Unite over here. Launch faster on the S25. Let's go ahead and just play one game over here. One lemon. I really like the placement on the speakers on the iPhone and the S25 both phones. It's just on a perfect position, I would say, for the gaming. Pretty nice gaming experience, I would just say, on the iPhone 16 Pro. And now we just try the S25. So the speakers, obviously those are like better on the iPhone, like you get more depth and feeling on the iPhone. But nevertheless, like the speakers are pretty nice on the S25 too. Alright, so pretty nice gaming experience on this one too. And now we just go ahead and just launch the CSR Racing 2 on these both phones. And we'll see which one open this one first. So it seems like the iPhone 16 Pro is leading. Yes, let's see. Yep, so iPhone open this one first. And we just go ahead and just launch the Ray Racing 3 now on these both phones. So iPhone 16 Pro was a faster one to load the game. And now we just go ahead and just launch the Modern Combat 5. So faster on the iPhone 16 Pro, I would just say. And now we just go ahead and just launch the NFS No Limits over here. very similar, I'm just saying. Yeah, so it was open like first on the iPhone 16 Pro, but like very negligible kind of difference, I would just say, and very closely followed by the S25. So now we just go ahead and just launch the Ring Wave on these both phones. So it was faster on the S25. And now we just go ahead and just launch the King Arthur over here. So faster on the iPhone 16 Pro. And now we just go ahead and just launch the Arena of Valor on both of these phones. So faster, I believe, on the S25. Yep. And now we just go ahead and just launch the Diablo Immortal on these both phones. Faster on the iPhone 16 Pro. Yep. Now we just go ahead and just launch the Call of Duty Warzone. So faster on the S25, slightly faster on the S25, I would just say, and very closely followed up by the iPhone 16 Pro. And now we'll be just going ahead and just opening the Geekbench 6 on these both phones. So iPhone 16 Pro, open this one first. I've already done the test on these both phones, and I'll just go ahead and just check in the history. So once we compare the tests on these both phones, so we can see like the single core performance is like more than double on the iPhone 16 Pro, which is 3562 single core score, and on the S25 you're just getting 1445 or 6 single core score. If you compare the multi-core score, so iPhone have performed like significantly better on the multi-core score as well. Like it stands at 8789, and the S25 stands at 7238. Now let's go ahead and just check the GPU test on these both phones. So the GPU test will be in the history, and we just go ahead and just check this one. So you can see like the GPU test is like more than double like a difference that you get on the iPhone 16 Pro. Obviously like the iPhone GPU is always like it's better than the rest of the phone, I would just say, in terms of the Geekbench test results. Like it's almost double, I would just say, at 32,965 GPU metal score, and the S25 got the 14312 score, which is like, I would just say, like once it translates, like if I translate this one into a practical term, so it makes no difference, I would just say. Because like once we compare and launch the app, so these like perform pretty much similar in that regards. Like both chips are very capable, and like one of the bestest chips that you can in the market, and it only primarily depends upon like which software you're just inclined towards, I would just say, or you can say like which firmware you're just inclined towards. So the last will be running the 3D Mark over here. and we'll be just running the Steel Nomad Lite over here on these both phones. And let's go ahead and just now not sure, like it feels different, like it's not covering the whole screen on the iPhone 16 Pro, and I'm not sure like if that would just make a difference. But yeah, we just go ahead and just run the test itself. Maybe that's how the 3D mark is being optimized on the iPhone 16 Pro. So the test is loading right now. So iPhone is still like loading the test itself. So S25 has finished the test and we're still waiting on, so yeah, iPhone have started the test itself. Comparing the frame rates, I can say that I can find better frame rates on the S25, but we just go ahead and just let the test finish and we'll focus on the results itself. So the iPhone has finished the test as well, and we just focus on the result itself. I can feel both devices are hot. Like, yeah, both devices are pretty much hot, I would just say, running this test. So that means like they were just struggling. So let's compare the test itself, the results itself. So so the overall score, if you see, like it stands at 1897 on the S25, and on the iPhone 16 Pro it stands at 1136. So you're just getting significantly better result on the S25. Average frame rates, you're just getting better on the S25 at 14.06. On the iPhone, you're just getting 8.4 FPS. Now if we talk about the battery over here, so the battery on the S25 dropped from 68% to 67%. On the iPhone 16 Pro, it dropped from 70% to just remaining at 70%, so there's no drop. Temperature wise, obviously here you're just getting 38 degree to 41 degree centigrade of increase in the S25. I'm not sure, it's not showing on the iPhone 16 Pro over here, but yeah, if you compare the frame rate, so you're just getting on the S25 from 6 FPS to 19 FPS, and generally on the iPhone 16 Pro you're just getting from 4 to 13 FPS of frame rates. So now what does that mean? Like, obviously if you can see, like the Geekbench 6 performed better on the iPhone 16 Pro, and the 3D margins perform better on the S25. Now these tests are like, obviously these tests matters, but in this regard, like once we compare it to the real life performance, like both are the flagship processors and the chipset on these both devices. But once we compare it on a real-time basis, these both devices, like launching of the apps, launching of the games, so you wouldn't find like much of a difference in with regards to that one, unless like you're just calculating millisecond or just seconds of launching of the app itself, and only you'll know that one or notice these ones once you're just comparing these ones side by side. So it solely depends upon like which device do you prefer. Like you won't be wrong with either of the devices. Obviously the iPhone 16 Pro you is getting us so much better cameras, I would just say, than the S25. But regarding the general performance, if we talk about from day-to-day usage, like the screen interaction, you won't find much difference. Like it only solely depends upon like which firmware you just logged into. If you're just an iPhone guy, so obviously the iPhone would be the better choice for you. If you're just an Android guy, so this is like one of the bestest refined OS you can get in the as far as the Android market is concerned, which is like a One UI 7. It is like a refined. It's like a so much refined, or like you can say the best refined experience you can get on the S25 or maybe the other lineup of the S25. So yeah, so do let me know like which device would you prefer, and if you guys have any questions you can just let me know down in the comments, and please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for watching again. Have a good day. Bye.